హలో మావా, కాగ్నిటివ్ ల్యాబ్స్కి వెల్కమ్. రోజుకో కొత్త ఏఐ ప్రాజెక్ట్తో జీరో నుంచి ఏఐ డెవలపర్ అవడానికి నా పాటు రావాలంటే సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి, లైక్ అండ్ షేర్ చేయండి. ఇక స్టార్ట్ చేద్దామా?
Think about what happens when you open up an app like Instagram or Swiggy. You don't have to retype your username or re-enter your favorite orders every single time. The app just remembers you, instantly recalling your exact profile out of millions. Computers don't have some natural intuition to know who you are. That memory is something a programmer actively builds. The mechanism behind this app memory relies on a core programming concept called variables. By the end of this video, we are going to write a Python script from scratch to build the memory engine for your own personal digital profile. Go ahead and open up your preferred Python coding environment, and let's write this together. Before you can build complex interactive software, you have to master how a computer stores basic information. Step 1 in building your profile is getting the computer to store your name in its memory. In this diagram, a variable is an empty storage box. We give it a specific label, like name. In your editor, type name equals Pavan. You've created your first variable. Notice the quotation marks. They are a strict requirement. In Python, any text wrapped in quotation marks is classified as a string data type. Type print name and run your program. The terminal accesses the box labeled name and displays the text. Now change Pavan to Prabhas and run it again. The output instantly updates. Variables allow your software to dynamically update stored information, while the underlying code commands, like our print statement, remain exactly the same. Let's move to step 2 of your profile, storing numerical data, starting with your age. Drop down to a new line and type age equals 22. Looking at this comparison, you'll notice a critical difference. If you want to use numbers mathematically later on, you must never wrap them in quotation marks. A whole number stored without decimals like this is called an integer. Sometimes you need decimal precision. Let's add a third variable for your academic CGPA. Drop to the next line in your editor and type CGPA equals 7.59. Python treats numbers with decimals differently than whole numbers. This specific data type is called a float. You have to rigidly categorize information into strings, integers, or floats. This ensures the computer knows exactly how to format, process, or calculate that specific piece of data. Our final variable requirement is determining if you are currently an active student, which requires a simple yes or no state. On the next line, type isStudent equals true. Warning tone. Python is extremely strict about case sensitivity. As highlighted here, if that first letter T isn't capitalized, your script will throw an error. This binary true or false data type is known as a Boolean. To complete your script, write out 3 new print commands corresponding to the age, CGPA, and student status variables you just created. Hit the Run button to generate your total profile. Strings, integers, floats, and Booleans. These 4 specific data types are the universal building blocks capable of representing almost any attribute in modern software. Looking at the terminal, you can see all 4 values printed in order. You have successfully built a functioning digital profile. This brings us directly back to how apps like Instagram and Swiggy remember who you are. When we look at a standard social media profile interface, the underlying structure relies on these exact concepts. The username is stored as a string, the follower count is an integer, and that verified checkmark is simply a Boolean set to true. There is one limitation to the code we just wrote. You had to hardcode your own information directly into the script, rather than having the application ask you for it. In the next lesson, we are going to solve that limitation by implementing user input, turning this static digital memory into a dynamic interactive application. Up until now, we have created variables by manually typing the specific values straight into the script. Name equals Pavan, age equals 22. Think about what happens when someone opens Instagram to create a new account. The developers at Meta do not open their code and manually type in your exact name and birth date. Instead, the application pauses. It presents a blank field, asks you for your information, and waits for your response. Handling dynamic data allows a single script to process different information every time it runs, which is a requirement for any functional application. Let's build this mechanism. Open your Python editor and set up a split-screen view so you can see your code on one side and your terminal on the other. Take a look at this code structure. We define the variable name, but instead of assigning a static string, we assign the input function, followed by the specific question we want to ask. Enter your name. We follow that with a simple print name command. When you run this script, you will see a terminal window. That blinking cursor means the program is waiting for a human to provide data. Type your specific name into the terminal and press enter. The terminal instantly outputs the name you submitted. You have now written a program that can ask a question, capture a human's answer in a variable, and recall that exact answer on command. We can scale this single interaction into a complete profile. Return to your script and add 2 new input prompts below the first, one asking for age and another asking for branch. Here is a critical syntax rule. When you write the print commands for these new inputs, the spelling and case sensitivity of the variable name must match exactly. If you use a capital A in the input, but a lowercase a in the print command, Python will throw an error. Now it is your turn to expand this further. Pause the video and add 3 more input fields to your program. First, college name, then your CGPA, and your city. Then write the print statements for all of them. Take your time. We will check the answer in 10 seconds. Take a look at this completed script. You should have 6 distinct variable inputs stacked chronologically, followed by their 6 corresponding print commands. When you run this script and answer each prompt in the terminal, the outputs stack cleanly, line by line, forming a complete structured student profile. By successfully stacking these sequential inputs, you have engineered a functional, dynamic mini-application. This exact logic applies to any concept you can imagine. Instead of a student profile, you could prompt the user for a gamer name and level, or build a crush profile generator asking for a name and age. The underlying Python syntax are names identical. The only limit is the specific data you decide to request from the user. To see the true scale of this, we can look at the database structures of massive tech platforms. They are built on the exact same logic you just wrote. This diagram shows a standard Instagram interface. Username, bio, and followers are user variables, populated through input prompts. The same applies to Swiggy. Customer name and address are variables requested and stored. Even ChatGPT relies on this. Your prompt is captured as a variable to process your request. Without these basic variable and input structures to capture human data, the software platforms and digital tools we use daily could not function. We have now progressed to writing programs that can receive, store, and display information provided by a user during runtime. To lock in this muscle memory, take a look at this checklist. You have 4 specific tasks to complete today. You need to build a personal profile, a gamer profile, a dream company profile, and a family profile, each with its own unique input prompts. Once you complete all 4 challenges, type Day 6 complete in the comments so we can track your progress. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss tomorrow's lesson. Every feature in a modern app, from a login screen to a search bar, relies on this logic to process and manage user data.